Are you an empath who's currently experiencing burnout, or maybe you're just having a hard time really finding that balance between your natural tendency and truly the joy that you get in serving and helping others with not feeling like you're constantly being taken advantage of? If this resonates with you, I completely understand. I spent so much of my life in this phase too of struggling to find that balance between giving but not over giving and not feeling like someone is constantly taking from you. So today I want to share my top 4 tips that you can start using now so that you can protect yourself from falling into those patterns while also finding strength in your natural sensitivity. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Linda. I am a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, and I love helping others find purpose and fulfillment in their life's journey. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can set proper boundaries as an empath, some tips that you can follow, and how you can truly protect your energy while still being able to give to the people that you care about. My first tip, and this might not come as a surprise because this is something that I advocate for so much and I bring it up to my clients on a daily basis all the time, is to set time aside for yourself every single day. Make it a non-negotiable. Personally, my favorite time of day to do this is in the morning because you're able to take care of yourself first before you go off into the rest of your day to take care of other people. Truly, everyone should be doing this. Everybody should be setting aside time for themselves, but this is especially important if you are an empath or if you're a highly sensitive person. And even more so if you are also a caregiver or your job just requires you to be there for people a little bit more than another type of job might. So like I mentioned, my favorite time of day to do this is in the mornings, simply because it allows you to give yourself some energy. It gives you a chance to fill your own cup first thing in the morning before you go off into the rest of your day. I am a morning person, I'll just say that right off the bat, but even if you're not a morning person, just setting aside maybe 10 to 20 minutes of your day. I know a couple of full-time moms who like to wake up a little bit earlier before the rest of their family so that they can have a half an hour or an hour just to themselves, just to find that peace and that groundedness before they go off and help, take care of their families or go on with the rest of their day. And every single person that I talk to about this really just is very firm in the fact that this truly does help them take better care of the people that are in their lives. I personally wake up super early. If you've seen my 4:30 a.m. morning routine, it is a very lengthy process for me, but that's just because I enjoy it. I love getting a chance to do my thing in the morning before I go off into work. But even before I was waking up that early, just with having to work with clients on a daily basis, I found that having those extra few minutes in the morning to just do something for myself, for me, it's meditation, it's journaling, it's working out, it's making sure I'm eating something healthy. I've found that it actually really does help me be better at my job. And so if you're an empath who has a natural tendency of giving, and as an empath, you probably really do enjoy it, it helps to give a little bit of that energy to yourself first, or at least on a daily basis, wherever it is that you want to squeeze that time slot into your day. It really does help when you are able to fill your cup first, because you really can't pour from an empty cup. And if you are experiencing burnout or if you're struggling with those boundaries, then you are probably starting to realize that it really is difficult to constantly give to other people if you're not giving to yourself as well. Tip number 2 is to take inventory of the relationships in your life. Who are you spending the most time with? And then once you kind of identify the people that you spend the most time with, take a look into how balanced the energy is between you and these other people. Are you spending a lot of time or giving a lot of energy to relationships where they might not be giving you the same energy in return? And if that's the case, take a look and see if this is a constant theme between you and this other person, or if it's just simply a matter of a phase that they're going through in their life. There are differences, there are those natural ebbs and flows in relationships, but as an empath, it's really important to identify the relationships that you're in where it feels like people are just constantly taking from you and not giving you anything back. And because as an empath, I know that you really do find joy in being of service to others. I feel like I have to say that it really is important for you to take this time to consciously limit the amount of energy, or at least begin the process of maybe creating a little bit of space between you and the people in your life who are constantly taking from you. It's really easy to get burnt out as an empath. It's really easy to get out of balance and to really struggle with boundaries, especially with those people that you're spending a lot of time with, because it almost starts to become a pattern, or almost like the more and more that you do it with certain people, it starts to just become more of like a habit. And so by taking inventory of the relationships in your life, and at least being able to first identify those relationships in which you feel like you are giving too much and not getting anything in return, it'll bring that awareness so that you can start practicing creating a little bit more balance within those relationships. For me personally, I was able to recently identify a relationship in my life where I felt like I was constantly giving, or I was constantly being asked in indirect ways to provide my time and my energy. And I realized after going through a period of time where I was just feeling really burnt out, I was feeling really just depleted. I was having a hard time even balancing out my mood. And honestly, like I felt like I was going through this little period in my life where I was feeling almost like crankier than usual. And I had to ask myself, like, what is going on? What is going on in my life that is making me feel this way? And once I figured out that it was this relationship dynamic that I was in, I was able to kind of take a step back and regather myself and reapproach the relationship in a different way. And it actually allowed me to be way more centered. It allowed me to be more of an authentic presence and to be able to support this person in the way that they needed, but also in the way that I was able to. I wasn't overgiving, I wasn't feeling out of balance as a result of it, and it actually helped me have a better relationship with this person by being able to take inventory of how out of balance the relationship was and what I could change within myself and my approach to the relationship so that the relationship could actually thrive in a healthier way. Number 3 is to identify your needs and prioritize them over giving to others or over spending time with other people. And this might be kind of tough at first, because when you find so much fulfillment in being able to be there for other people, being able to be of service, it can be really hard to kind of separate yourself from that and ask yourself, okay, well, what is it that I need? So I have a client that I've been working with who really struggles with anxiety and low self-esteem in some ways. There's certain things that she knows that she needs to work on and incorporate into her daily life as a practice in order for her to overcome those challenges that she faces within herself. On the flip side, she's also a very big giver. She's very involved in her community. Her job is very involved in her providing her energy to other people and helping to guide other people in the process that they're going through. But what she found is that even though she knew what it is what she needed to do in her personal life to get herself where she needed to be so that she was more centered, she was overgiving in the other areas of her life at her own expense. And so as an empath who is struggling with burnout, it's really important for you to identify the needs that you have that are necessary for you to be a more balanced, more centered, more fulfilled person, and take those into account when you are then giving to other people. So prioritizing your needs, prioritizing your goals so that you are pouring some of that energy into your own personal goals while also spending time and giving to other people is going to be super important for you to avoid that burnout long term. And this really is going to involve you getting comfortable with saying no or saying no, not right now. That's really hard to do when you are so used to giving and you are so used to being constantly there for other people. But it's really important to realize, if this is something that you're going through, that it is not selfish, that it is okay for you to prioritize yourself and your goals before you go ahead and give some of that energy to the people around you. As an empath, saying no or not right now can sometimes feel like the hardest or the scariest thing. It might feel like you're letting someone else down. And if it feels like you're letting that person down, or that person says that you're letting them down in a very direct way, it's okay. It's okay for you to take care of yourself first. And it's okay for you to then, once you feel grounded in yourself, or you have gained some of that energy back by taking care of your own needs first to then give it to someone else, it's okay for it to fall along that different timeline rather than you sacrificing your own needs for someone else's. I can promise you that even if someone feels upset with you when you first say no, if they really truly care about you, they will get over it. They won't completely cut you out of their life. And at the end of the day, they are going to respect you even more for saying no, not right now, than if you were to just go ahead and go with whatever it is that they were asking of you. And that brings me to number 4, which is to embrace the shifts that are going to naturally start taking place in your personal relationships. Pay attention to who's giving you a hard time or whose energy is shifting in an uncomfortable way once you start trying to implement these boundaries and these tips that you are now going to start working on, so that you don't feel so burnt out all the time. Some people are going to be super supportive. Those are the kinds of people that you want in your life, especially as an empath. It's so easy to fall into these dynamics when you are a caring individual, someone who wants to be of service. It's really easy to fall into those dynamics where people are just going to constantly take from you. And as you are implementing these changes into your life, making them a part of your daily practice, you're going to start seeing those relationships around you shift. And for those people that are truly with you, for those people that truly want the best for you, it might take a couple of little growing pain periods for the balance to readjust itself, but those people are going to stick by you and they're going to respect you even more. For those other people that were just in the relationship for what it is that you were able to offer them and not the other way around, or it not being an equal give and take, pay attention to that, because at the end of the day, those are not the people that you want in your life. And it's better for you to start finding out now that those people are not going to be supportive of you in your process. And it's okay. Sometimes we have relationships in our lives because they are here to teach us a lesson, maybe a hard lesson, or maybe just a gentle lesson that will allow us to grow inside of ourselves, and that'll give us the confidence to move forward in a happier and more balanced way. Because at the end of the day, you don't owe anything to anybody else. The only person that you owe anything to is yourself.